Hi, this is Catherine Roseland with BoardGameGeek here at SPIEL 2019. I'm sitting here with Richard Fries from R&D Games, and he's here to talk about Key Market, a remake of a game that came out in 2010. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Fantastic.
First time we've republished one of the Key games, and this time we've made, for those people that knew the original game, came out in 2010, I had the pleasure of being Geek of the Week a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And in the course of that conversation, I said that if people would like a reissue of Key Market, a lot of people have asked me for if we had 500 thumbs up on this picture, we would do one. And a couple of days later, there were 1,000 thumbs up on this picture. So we went ahead and we did this partly as a Kickstarter, and we've got copies that are available at the show.
Fantastic.
The game is similar to the original game, but what we have in addition is there are the original counters, which also are included in this game. We additionally have a set of wooden keeples, so these can live on the boards and the fields. And we also have
adorable,
much better quality anime meeples and veggie meeples.
Look at
that. We have reworked the guilds. In previous edition there were 12 guilds. This time we have 16 guilds. And the existing guilds have been reworked and tweaked so that there's a lot more decisions required in order to determine whether you want to promote your characters during the course of the game, from the apprentice level right up to the guild master at the top. And each of these guilds will allow your keeples to do different or have different abilities during different phases of the game. So that the outline of the game, each player has their player order card, and the game is played over 8 seasons. So it's 2 years of 4 seasons, and these are marked on the board here. So as and when we progress through the seasons, we go through and we move the markers across on the board. Each of the 4 seasons has 3 phases, has the farming stage, the market day, and the end of season. And during each phase, one player will go through largely in order in farming. So in farming, basically the characters' worker placement, there's a number of restrictions here, but basically the characters are coming onto the board and they are being put down into different areas. The guilds will allow different levels of production, and also the basic thrust of the game is that the square fields and the circle fields will produce different number of resources as outlined on these season markers. Each season, the basic production for a square field is 2 and a round field is 1, but each season there is a variance. So, for example, in spring, the apples will be producing 3 instead of 1, but the fish will be no fish instead of 2. So it's sort of giving you the incentive to move around on the board to maximise your production. Start of the game, there are products, resources in the market. Already there, apart from the luxuries. And during farming, we go through introduction of the new keeples, moving the keeples. We then produce, so for instance, we just mentioned that field would produce 2 wheat. In spring, that would only produce 1 wheat. In spring. This one I'll put it on the different colours, so that would be 2 of the cabbages, and so on. We then go into a market day where we have to sell at least 1 resource, and we also get the special guild actions where we can bring workers and pay them to go into the guilds, and that will then give you a benefit throughout the game. It's the game itself, as I say, it's been a game that a lot of people have wanted to get hold of for quite a long time, because it's a very it's a game where you can plan, but your planning is very precise in that there's not a lot of leeway as far as production, paying for the workers you've got in the field, being able to have the right resources for advancing your guild members. You're trying during the course of the game to obviously create points. You start off with a team of, depending on the number of players, so you have 10 of the meeples, one of which is a special wavy meeple.
I just saw that one
the
here.
key worker, and
He's
you probably
waving his hand.
Probably see there's a little K on those to distinguish them from the others.
It's very nice.
They have a special ability if the guild number 4, a guild of key workers, is in place. We also have our own farmhouse where we can, which we have to pay for at the beginning of the game, and during the game we will probably upgrade that to the reverse side by paying the resources required, in this case a sheep and different resources, slightly different for each player.
Yeah.
And then once
Adding
you've
some variability
upgraded it, you can start retiring workers towards the end of the game by paying the resources required, and that will generate victory points. So the victory points at the end of the game will come from the manor house, if you've upgraded it, the retired workers, the guilds that you've advanced on, and these are no longer, as in the first edition, a simple 5, 10, 15. That one is, but this one actually goes down to no points because the benefit is quite strong for that. So there's a lot more of the decision making to be done there. Pairs of resources at the end of the game are worth 5 points. And then finally, some of these guilds which are highlighted yellow will give you additional
bonus points.
Scoring points.
Yeah. Fantastic. So main differences are a few of these.
Yeah, the guilds have been reworked.
And then, of course, the pieces themselves are just fantastic.
We did have those in the first edition, but there were production issues with them, and these are the good quality pieces you would expect from a key game. These are additional. In the original game, we had round card workers, which we still have in the box, but the box is over the other side of the stand at the moment. The box bottom.
We have the lid here.
Well, we do have the lid. But
so for those of you who've been really keen on getting a hold of Key Market but haven't been able to, it's out again, and with a few new little upgrades.
Yes, we've got those are all included in the box. The ones that we've discussed. So the wooden pieces that came with the Kickstarter edition, all included in the box, and there are a limited number of these that will be available.
So try to get a hold of them as quick as you can, I guess. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
That is the
Thank
new
you
edition of Key Market from R&D Games.